Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have 20 solar light Dollar Tree DIYs for you, and these solar light DIYs are perfect for summer. Now, this is a new solar light I've never seen before at Dollar Tree. I was so excited to pick it up. It's got like a little square lantern that's got solar powered twinkle lights in it, and it also comes with the post, the hook, everything you need. So for $1.25, I thought that was a great deal. I'm going to give mine a little bit of a coastal makeover. Again, it's black plastic, and I'm not a big fan of that for coastal, so we're going to paint it. I just went ahead and took it apart, took the little plastic part out, and these are all the pieces to the pole and stuff like that. I'm going to suspend mine in just a Dollar Tree metal bucket, a blue one. I thought that would look nice and beachy, but you could always suspend this in a plant pot or your landscaping. It's definitely tall enough. And we're just going to go ahead and spray paint this. I'm going to spray paint it this same color that I did the last one with that sand dollar spray paint. And first I'm just going to tape off the little twinkly lights so they don't get paint on them. And I need to paint kind of all of the pieces to this. So I'm going to need to paint the top. So again, I'm just cutting some more of that cardboard down to cover that up, tape that on top. And I'm going to cover like the box of the lantern. I'm also going to be painting the pole and stuff like that. So everything looks that ivory color. And that combined with that beachy blue pale, I think is going to look really cute and coastal. So again, this is an ultra matte. I really prefer the matte spray paints over the glossy. I just think it looks a little bit more coastal. Trying to give that a good coat of paint with the hanger like kind of standing up so I can get that painted on both sides. And then I'm painting the little basket of the lantern. It was really easy to take all of this apart to paint it and give it a different vibe. If you like the black, it's really cute in black as well. But if you're going for a coastal vibe, I just don't think black really goes with it. So I just put together the plastic pole for it like that. And I'm going to go ahead and paint that as well. While I've got the spray paint out and my box. This box has been in a lot of videos now. It might be getting worn out. I'm going to have to find something else to paint in. It's really hard to find a box that will fit on my workspace under my camera where I can show you guys everything, because I hate having to take everything outside and then you guys don't get to see the whole process. So here is the hook that holds it. I'm going to go ahead and spray paint that ivory as well. And I'm going to kind of spray paint everything except for the very like stake part of it, because you won't be able to see that. I actually end up not even using that part of it. I'm going to flip over the lantern and spray paint it again. That way I can get all of the inside of the lantern too. And that looks way better. Let me get a little bit over on this side and just trying to make sure I have everything painted. I also painted kind of on the inside lip of the top of it as well, anywhere that might be visible. And now it is time to try to get these dry and put this together. I was having impatience because I needed to get this video out. So I filled the tin pail up with just some rocks I had from Dollar Tree and some gravel. And then I'm going to top it off with sand. That way it looks like a beachy bucket full of sand and shells is what I was going for. But I wanted it to be weighed down because it's going to be outside too. And then I need to put my pole in there. I was trying to decide if I should have put my pole in there first before I put the rocks in there. And I probably should have. I tried it first with the stake, and I really wasn't getting anywhere with it. So I'm actually going to remove that. And I lost some of my sand down in the gravel, but I just went ahead and removed the stake, kind of worked that down into the rocks. So that uses that to stand it up to kind of make it sturdier. And I'm just going to have to replace the sand that kind of all went down in it. I'm going to secure it with a little bit of hot glue. And then I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree tan sand for the top. Now, if you're worried about losing your sand for the top, you can always use some like adhesive spray glue. They do have that at Dollar Tree that you can kind of spray on there, kind of help keep your sand in there. I'm just going to kind of skip it and just like let it be sand. I can always replace it if I need to. And then just some seashells from my stash. I'm going to use some larger ones and scatter those around so it looks like a little beach bucket with sand and seashells inside of it. Makes it look really coastal. I slide in the little plastic cube back inside the lantern, and then I just have to untape my twinkle lights. So this is a solar light, but the solar light, instead of just having one light, has all these little twinkle lights. So I really can't believe this was only $1.25, a really good deal. And I'm just gonna put those down back inside it. And the lid just twists on, it like screws on like a lid. And we can remove the cardboard from the top, clean up any of the excess. It's got the little hanger on there already, and then I can just hook that on the loop. This turned out so cute and beachy and really versatile. You could use this so many different places. I think I might use this on the table next to my front door. I do like the fact that I changed it to a white color. It goes great with like the beachy colors of the bucket, the sand, and the seashells down here below. And a really good deal, I think, for a solar light. Let me show you what it looks like lit up at night. It's nice and bright with all those different twinkle lights in there. I like the fact that there's multiple twinkle lights in there. It just made it so much brighter. And I have done this actual solar light with a bee DIY. And for that one, I left it black and had little bees flying around inside, like little wooden bees. Really fun. I hope you're enjoying today's video. If you are, be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'd really appreciate it if you would hype today's video. I picked up one of these hanging solar lights from the Dollar Tree. It's got a great plastic hanger on it. It's got this great crackle glass bulb on it, which I will definitely save for another DIY. But I thought this would be perfect to combine with the little flamingo plastic cups they have in the summer section at Dollar Tree right now. And then you can have some little hanging light up flamingos that you can use to decorate for your luau, or if you just want some pink flamingos in your landscaping. The straw is built into these cups, which is super strange. I'm going to try to take advantage of it though. What I did was just snip the straw off on the top and the bottom. It's kind of up to you whether you leave the flower petals on there for the feathers of the flamingo. I left mine on, but you could totally pull those off if you wanted. See how that fits in there almost perfectly? And the straw opening there fits the solar light through it. Now, the only problem if you leave the flowers on there is there's lots of different layers of flowers. So to get your plastic lid really attached where it's going to be strong, you're going to have to glue your different layers together. So I tried to do that. I tried to pull it apart and glue the different layers down until I got that plastic lid attached. So if you wanted to make yours without the petals, it would probably be even easier to glue this part on because, again, I had to make sure that mine was really going to be stuck in there. I didn't want my little flamingo to fall off. But look how that straw opening works perfectly with the little light inside the solar light. So be sure to look for this hanging one. It's just the perfect size. It's also made out of black plastic. The flamingo is made out of pink plastic and has a little black beak. And so I think that it's going to really coordinate well. I just screw it onto my little cup like that using that existing lid. And how easy was that? Look how fun and tropical this looks hanging in front of my house and one of my bushes. Really fun and definitely one of the easier solar light Dollar Tree DIYs I've ever done. Finding the right kind of solar light to go on the top, if you can find a hanging one like that, it's going to make the project so much easier. This is what it looks like lit up at night. Now, I live in Florida, so I love pink flamingos, but I kind of liked them before I lived in Florida too. So you can kind of use these just for summer decor, which I do, or you could use them if you were having like a summer like luau party or something like that. Really tropical and fun. I love a good pink flamingo though, so I'm always up for some new pink flamingo decor, especially for my landscaping out front. Isn't that so fun? Okay, up next, they have these new solar lights this year too. I'm going to combine it with a fun noodle to make cool, like nautical pilings light display by using just a fun noodle. I thought I could do like the 3 logs, like, at a pier where you like can tie up your boat. And so I'm going to take the fun noodle and I want to cut it in 3 different lengths. So there'll be some variety. We can tie them all together. It's got a hole in it, so I can go ahead and put the solar light in it. I thought this decorative one would be perfect. And I'm using that little pool noodle knife from the Dollar Tree. It works great for cutting this down. And I'm going to display it all just on one of those chunky wood, like rectangular signs from the Dollar Tree. So that is what it's going to look like. I only had a red fun noodle, so we're going to make it work. I want to make it look like wood though. So for the base, I do want that to kind of look like wood, kind of like driftwood. So I'm using like this Beachcomber color by Apple Barrel. And I'm just painting the wood plaque. I thought the wood plaque would be a nice heavy base. Something that would hold up outdoors and be really cute. And this solar light DIY just turned out amazing. So after I paint it, I'm just taking some antique wax by Waverly and distressing in one direction. I kind of blend it with a baby wipe and it's going to give me like a wood grain, kind of give it that distressed driftwood look that I wanted. Now this is the contact paper that I'm going to use. It's kind of like a light to a medium like wood grain on there. And I thought I could cover the fun noodles with this to kind of make them look like nautical piling. So I'm going to measure. I can do one across that'll do like the medium and the small one. So I just measure. They have lines on the back, so it makes it easy to cut and just see how much I need to go all the way around. I do want to overlap so it sticks a little bit better to itself than it actually sticks to the fun noodle. So it is important to overlap it a little bit. So I'm trying to get it lined up straight. Easier said than done. But you can kind of pull it off until you're happy with it. Starting in the middle seemed to work a little bit better for me. And I'm just going to roll that on and it's going to make it look like wood. Since it's made out of a fun noodle, it should hold up well outside too. And I think the contact paper will too. So I have enough for the smaller one of the fun noodles too. So I'm going to cut that one down to size and peel and stick on this as well. Now, I'm going to do the same thing on all 3 of them. I did think about using the contact paper for the top of it as well, but I found that it really did not just stick to the foam, especially like the cut foam tops of it. So I had to come up with another plan for that, but what I came up with actually seemed to work pretty well. So here is our 3rd and final log, and this looks like it's real contact paper. You could also use like the wood contact paper from the Dollar Tree. They have it too. I think it would work fine. I just happen to have this. It is probably a little bit better quality than the one you're going to get at Dollar Tree. But this is our final nautical piling, and I have made one of these maybe for 4th of July one time. I kind of remember making one of these, but it's always a fun idea to try to make some faux wood here. So we have all 3 pieces, and then now we have to deal with the tops of them. I want to disguise like the red. I don't want that to show through. So I'm going to try to mask it with some white paint. And I also want to cover the holes in the center of 2 of them that won't have lights. I'm only going to do the light on the tallest one of the nautical pilings. So I just take some white duct tape and I just kind of cut it where it would cover the hole but not like stick out on the sides of it. And then I want to leave my 3rd one open like that because it's a perfect size for a solar light. Now, to disguise the red, I'm going to paint it white. So I'm painting it white. It's going to match that duct tape too. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to disguise the red because we're going to be covering it with something else that you might be able to see through. And I don't want you to be able to see that it is a red fun noodle under this. So I just kind of carefully paint over the duct tape. Actually worked pretty well. And the sides of it. And then this one doesn't have any duct tape, so I just kind of go around the top of it, and then I also go like inside a little bit, anywhere that you might see a little bit of red peeking out. And then I thought to cover the top of it, I wanted something coastal beachy, but something that I would be able to stick to it since the contact paper did not want to stick to the top. And I decided to try burlap. I had a scrap piece of burlap from the Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do is just cut out a square of that larger than the pier post for each one of those. So I just went ahead and cut out 3 pieces of that. I'm not going to cut them out into circles. I'm going to cut them out later to size. Right now, we're just going to do it with squares. Since it's going outside, I have a lot of luck with that tacky glue from the Dollar Tree holding up well outside. So I put a nice coat of that on top of the white paint and then just lay my burlap right inside of there. I'm going to kind of push it down with a paper towel, make sure it is all adhered before the glue dries. And we're going to do the same thing here with the other 2. It's a nice thick glue. I've used it for like gluing shells on things outside and just really impressed with the strength of this. I thought it might be better than Mod Podge because Mod Podge is going to be like water soluble. So I did the same thing there with the shorter one. For this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I could always cut the hole out when I trim up the rest of the burlap. So that looks pretty good and it dried up really fast. I didn't want to use heat on it because the foam will kind of melt a little bit. And then once I get it on there, I just go around and cut it down to size. That way I get a perfect cut, make sure I don't have any red peeking out around the corners. And it definitely goes with, you know, that wood feel and the nautical feel. So that was a good solution for the top of those. Now for this one, I need to have a hole in the center too. You can see through it so you can see exactly where you need to cut and doesn't have to be perfect right here because it's going to be covered up with that cute little solar light that I got at the Dollar Tree. It has like a really great design on it and it does a really cool pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape from the battery. Make sure this is good to go. And I'm going to leave the stem on mine, but I don't need the stake that goes into the ground. And then I am going to go ahead and see how I want these on here. I kind of liked it with the 2 taller ones in the back and the shorter one in the front. So that is what we're going to do with these. I'm going to hot glue these down. I couldn't really think of something that was going to be strong enough to hold it, you know, in the process. Like, you know, I really need this to get done tonight, so I didn't have time to let any other kind of glue set up. So I use hot glue from time to time outside, and I have pretty good success with the Girly Glue. So after figuring out exactly how I want this laid out, I'm just going to use a pencil to sketch that out so I know exactly where to put my hot glue before I put my fun noodle back on there. So I'm going to do one at a time, and I'm going to fill the whole fun noodle up just like that, lots of glue. It's okay if a little bit of it comes out around the sides. I want it to be nice and strong. And then we're going to do the same thing here with the other 2 nautical pilings. Now, we have an island here where I live in Florida that is between the ocean and the lagoon. And it is really fun to go to the lagoon. They have these like nautical pilings everywhere where people can tie up their boats and stuff like that when they go to restaurants and stuff like that. So it's super fun. So that's what it looks like so far. Now I want to tie them together since they're nautical pilings. I don't really have enough room to do like 2 rows of rope. So I'm going to do like 1 rope and then I'm going to like wrap it around twice. So I start here in the back and I just hot glued that to the back of the piling like that. And then I'm going to go around 1 more time. I did hot glue it on the front too, just to kind of keep it in place. And then hot glue it here on the back and we can just cut off the rest of that rope. And that's just Dollar Tree rope. So that's what it looks like so far. Now it's time for the light. All you got to do is put it right down inside that fun noodle. Isn't that so cool? I think it turned out really fun. And wait till you see this all lit up. I love the design. Even in the daytime, it was wanting to light up for me there. and it has such a cool light pattern at night. Now, I did this DIY a couple of years ago, and I'm actually still using this. It has held up great. It's been outdoors here in Florida through all kinds of weather, and I think it's using the shelf liner. It just made it really, really durable. But even when the solar light went out, I just popped in a new one of the solar lights like this from the Dollar Tree to the top because it wasn't glued in, and I was able to replace it. I find it easier than replacing the batteries in these when they wear out. But isn't that so fun? Nautical Pilings Solar Light DIY. Now, moving into our patriotic solar lights, I found the solar stake light for $3 at Dollar Tree. It is really cool. But look, I got shorted. There is no stand in mine, the little stake. And of course, I'm crafting at night, so there was nothing I could do about this. So you know what? We're going to problem solve. I think I got the most important part, which is these beautiful twinkly lights here and the little solar charger on there. I want to combine this with a Dollar Tree Fun Noodle to make a giant exploding firework solar light for the 4th of July. So we're doing the patriotic ones now. So I'm just going to measure about how long I want it to be. I'm having to improvise, of course, because there's no stake. So keep that in mind when you go to make yours. You can make yours really however long you want it to be. I do think I want it to wrap around the little solar light there. So I cut it longer and then I cut a little slit like this where I'll be able to work that solar light in. I take all of those little exploding lights, right, and just feed them through the center of my fun noodle. And it really doesn't matter what color fun noodle you get. We're going to be covering it as well to make it look more patriotic. I just slide my solar light in there, the little solar panel right up here. I will have to cut like some little grooves here to go around that so that it's not wider down here. So I'm just going to cut like a little pocket here on each side and make this work. If you wanted to stop your firework above the little solar light thing, it might be a little bit easier. But since I was going to have to improvise my own stake on this one, I wanted mine to be a little bit longer. And you get this big exploding firework effect out of the top of it, so it turned out so cool. So just using a sharper knife, I just cut a little groove there for both sides of my little solar charger. And then I'm just going to borrow one of the solar stakes from a solar light because, you know, I usually don't use these anyway. And I think we're going to be able to do this to make our own. It is a little wider than the stake that should have been on there. But since I'm going to have it inside the fun noodle, I think we can make this work. I just add hot glue to the existing solar light and add my stake on there. And then I can glue the fun noodle around it, kind of sandwiching it in. And since this is going outside, I do want this to be really strong. So besides just hot glue for this part at the bottom, I'm going to reinforce it with a little bit of duct tape as well. You won't be able to see any of this in the end, but just to really make sure that this part of it stays together, kind of a crucial part of the solar light. I did a couple rows of duct tape because that is the Dollar Tree duct tape. And then here I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue around the opening to try to make sure that this stays in place. To cover it, I found this great shopping bag from the Dollar Tree just up by like the checkouts at my store. And I thought it would be great for the 4th of July because of the navy, white, and red colors on this one. And it's like a wavy line. I thought this would be really cute. It's just about the right size for the firecracker that we're making. So the first thing I do is I'm just going to remove the handles, and we are going to use those in this DIY, might as well. And then I'm going to cut the front panel off here with the wavy lines as a sheet of fabric. Whenever I'm in the Dollar Tree, I'm always looking for materials and fabrics that I can use for DIYs. You never know where you're going to find something that's going to be perfect. I did need most of the fabric, so I was only able to cut off the top part of that like that. And I think that will be long enough to fit the entire firework. We will be using the rest of the fabric for the ends because I don't want you to see that fun noodle be all exposed like that. And again, we're going to use the straps as well. So I just take my fun noodle and a chalk pencil. I get those chalk pencils from the Crafter Square at the Dollar Tree. They can be really great for crafting. I just sketch that on the back of that same bag so we can have some navy fabric. And I'm going to cut them out larger than I need them to be just 2 circles to do the top and the bottom of the fireworks so we can completely sandwich the fun noodle in with fabric. It's really easy to just cut. You're going to have to cut an opening in the middle of each one. I just folded mine in half and then in fourths and just cut an opening like that I can feed the lights through and will hopefully kind of close up the top here of my firework. Just like that. If you don't really care about your fun noodle showing, you can skip this step, but I think in the end it did make it look better. I added hot glue to my fun noodle and glued this right on. Now the hot glue will melt your fun noodle a little bit, but for something simple like this and just for the ends, I think it's going to be fine. And again, I did cut my circles a little bit larger. So once I get it on there, I need to go around the sides and glue that part down too. I probably could have cut mine out a little bit larger because I didn't have a lot of overlap here. We're going to be using the red straps that came on the bag as well. And I'm going to use those at the top and the bottom for a pop of red on it. So that will help seal all my different pieces of fabric together. So the same thing here for the bottom. I just fold it into fourths and cut another opening and go over my solar light stake just like that. So this DIY will definitely differ if you get your entire solar light kit. I was so disappointed. I thought maybe it had fallen out, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So definitely check your box before you buy it to make sure that both parts are in there. Good advice. But I've never seen this solar light at Dollar Tree before. Even though it was $3, it's a really nice light that has tons of lights on it. So I think it was well worth the money. For the fabric, I really only need this front panel. So I'm going to take advantage of the fold here to help me be able to cut a semi-straight line here for my fabric. And then I'm going to attach it like this. I want the wavy lines to go from side to side on my giant firecracker. And now that I have my panel, I can just work it around the solar panel. Just like before, I do have to kind of cut a notch. So again, if you didn't want to make yours this long, it might be a little bit easier because you're not going to have to worry about the notch for the fun noodle and for the fabric, but I like how it turned out. And it does kind of disguise the little solar charger in here. I need to kind of see where my notch needs to be on this side, and I really don't need quite that much fabric. I will be able to trim that a little bit shorter. So I just cut that notch out and cut off my excess fabric. And this fabric is, I don't know what this fabric is made of from the Dollar Tree. It is heat sensitive, so be careful. I am using hot glue and I didn't have a lot of problems, but I have had this fabric from the Dollar Tree melt before, so definitely work sparingly with the hot glue if you can. And then I just glued it on one side, wrapping it around, again, the little notches to go around the solar light and wrapping this tight. It is a durable fabric, so I'm hoping that it holds up well outside. Just testing this to make sure it works. I probably should have done that before I got started, right? And I think my notch needs to be a little bit larger here for this to lay flat. And I might have a little bit too much fabric, so I'm going to trim that down just a little bit before I attach it. I do want the white stripes to go all the way around, and I just overlap my fabric and covering our firecracker. Isn't that so cute? I like the blue and white wavy stripe. I like to mix up the star and stripe combinations on a lot of my Patriotic DIYs, and so I thought that was perfect. This is the red strap from the bag. I'm going to use it to, again, kind of trim out my fabrics and help combine them together, and I just hot glue that all the way around. I'm going to do a band at the top and the bottom, and it adds to the firecracker effect too. I think it looks really cute. When I saw this solar light at my Dollar Tree, I thought, oh my God, I have to make a firecracker out of it. It's perfect. And I think it would be so cute if you did a lot of these. You could like line your sidewalk or your landscaping for the 4th of July. Really cute. And even though it's $3, I think it's definitely worth the money. I'm sure it'd probably be more somewhere else. I used the other strap here from the bottom. Again, just hot gluing this on. And we have an exploding firecracker. Let me show you how this turned out. It's really fun. I thought I do need to bend all these down so they look like they're going like every direction. Kind of the wilder, the better if like the firecracker is getting ready to explode, and kind of gives you that like fuse kind of explosion tip there. And I think that's gonna work. So let me show you what this looks like in my landscaping during the day. It's still really patriotic with their red, white, and blue. You can tell like it looks like a firecracker. Even during the day, it's really cute, I think. And it's so fun lit up at night. I really like this particular solar light if you can find it. I have found different varieties of these online on Amazon as well. Of course, those probably aren't as good of a deal, but definitely look for these because making a little firecracker like this, I think, is a perfect use for them. This is what it looks like at night, all lit up like it is sparking. Really fun. A big, giant firecracker solar light DIY. Really fun for the 4th of July. For this solar light DIY, I want to make a solar light lighthouse. So I'm going to use one of these spring vases they have from the Dollar Tree. It doesn't really matter which color you get because we are going to cover it up and make it look like a lighthouse. So I just removed the tags from that one. I've also used those to make the flower solar lights this year on my channel. I also got a jar lid from a mason jar and one of the little individual candle holders that come in a 4-pack for the little tea light candles from the Dollar Tree. We're going to combine all of these items together with a solar light to make a lighthouse. To cover the outside of it, I'm going to use some of the shelf liner from the Dollar Tree. It almost looks like pebbly stone, and I think that's going to work really well for the outside of this, and it's going to be a nice durable material that's going to hold up really well outside, I think. Now, it is shaped a little bit skinnier at the top, so I just tried to mold that around to make that work. And we're just going to simply hot glue the shelf liner to the vase itself. I did kind of avoid the lip of it a little bit there so that I can use that to attach everything I need for the top of my lighthouse. And I just use hot glue to wrap that as tightly around as I can, keeping to that shape of the bottle. And this worked out perfectly. This held up really well outside, this material. And I just overlap it slightly there, and then I can cut the bottom to make it the perfect size. Since I was kind of working with a skinnier at the top, larger at the bottom, I wasn't sure exactly how much I was going to need. But I still felt it was a little bit too large at the top. So I'm going to show you how I fix that. I'm just going to cut another slit here and overlap it slightly here. So it will take the shape that I was looking for. And that seemed to work really well. So I just have another seam on it, but you can't really tell. Now, to make it look like a lighthouse, I wanted to add some fun decor to it, but I wanted things that would be durable, that would hold up well out in the weather. For the top of the lighthouse, I wanted the little section there for the light to sit on. And for that, I think a jar lid's going to work perfectly for that section. But again, I did want to decorate it a little bit. So I'm going to go in here with a black Sharpie. You could always use a paint pen as well, but I find that you have a little bit more control with a Sharpie. And I'm just going to draw on some simple art-shaped windows here for our lighthouse, just to add a little bit of fun. That shelf liner was really easy to draw on and worked perfectly, especially when you're working with a dark color like black like that. Now to add this to the top, that's going to cover up the yellow glass that you can see there, so I think that will work well. I do want to weigh it down as well because this is going to be outside. I don't want it to fall over and break. And so I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree pebbles and fill up the bottom just to weigh that down before I start to put this DIY together. Now I think we can do the jar lid. I'm going to use some stronger glue for this. I really want it to hold up well. So I'm going to use some super glue from the Dollar Tree. It's actually the cement, I guess it's called, the multi-purpose cement. And I glue that metal to glass on there, hoping that's going to stay durable. I put it down like that so it wouldn't catch any water. And then I'm going to put the little glass votive candle holder on top of that. That is going to light up. So it's not going to have a candle or anything in it. I'm going to use that multi-purpose cement for that as well. Glass to metal, I want it to be super strong. But I also put a little hot glue in the center just to hold it on for right now, just to help get it exactly where I need it to be. I center it right there on the jar lid. And you could really use anything for the jar lid, just something that was circular that you could fit into this. And then I put some more of that glue along the top, and we're just going to glue the top of a Dollar Tree solar light here to the top. The silver finish is perfect for this. And look how that is just the right size for that little votive candle holder and for the lighthouse in general. I just line that up how I like it and let that glue start to set up. And this really did turn out really durable using that Dollar Tree multi-purpose cement glue. You could always use some E6000 or some Gorilla Glue Clear Grip as well. Those work really well if you want to get some adhesive that's not from the Dollar Tree. Now, I did want it to look like it had a fishing net on it, but I also wanted something durable to hold up outside. To do that, I'm going to use some of the Dollar Tree rug liner. This is that stuff that you put like underneath your rugs so they don't move around, but look how it looks kind of like netting. And it's going to be super durable. So I want that to be draped down around the lighthouse. So I'm just going to cut out like a little rectangular piece here and kind of arrange it how I want it to drape down the side of the lighthouse. I think something like that would be cool, and I could add some seashells and stuff to it as well. But I don't want to cover up the entire lighthouse. So I start here at the jar lid and attach that shelf liner. I can always trim off any excess material that I don't need, and I'm going to have it kind of drape around. So I just glue this to the back seam where I had the shelf liner back here and cut off the excess netting back here. And this actually worked out pretty well for a fishing net. I'm always trying to find different ways to make fishing net, especially from Dollar Tree products. And then I only have it visible on one side of the lighthouse. I'm going to glue it here to the front so it'll kind of drape down like that and trim it up a little bit more there on the bottom so it doesn't overlap the ground too much. I think that looks pretty good. And I do want to decorate it as well with some fun little items. These are some little tiny seashells from my collection. Some of these are from Dollar Tree. Some of these are probably from the beach. And I'm just going to glue some small ones here coming down the net. And I just use hot glue to attach these, and they seem to hold up just fine. I wanted a little bit of variety with the different seashells on there. And here it is, our little solar light lighthouse. It's a little bit on the smaller side compared to some of the other solar light lighthouses that I've made, but I really love it. It was extremely durable. I think this material, the materials that I used worked really well for this because it has held up so well outdoors. A really fun piece. I really love it. It definitely looks like a little lighthouse, super cute. Adding the rug liner was a great way to do an outdoor, like, safe fishing net there that won't get dirty or wet or anything like that. And it's nice and bright here, lit up at night. Isn't that so fun? That was really an easy one to make as well. I do have another solar light lighthouse coming up later in today's video that is a little bit of a larger scale than this one, but I think it's so cute. For the next summer solar light Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to use one of these lemon glasses from the kitchen aisle at Dollar Tree, and I want to make it into a little lemon lantern using a solar light. The solar light that I'm using is actually one of the solar lights from Dollar General, and then I'm going to use one of the decorative jar lids from the Dollar Tree. One reason I'm using that is because I think that open grid will allow my solar light to still charge, right? And it can help me block in the top of this because I want to use the glass upright. Otherwise, my lemons just all look like they were upside down. So the first thing I did was just glue the grid into the jar lid, and then I'm going to glue the solar light top into it. Now, you could probably use the solar light from Dollar Tree too. It might be a little bit bigger, and this is a little bit skinnier, the Dollar General solar lights, but they are cheaper at Dollar General. You get 6 for $5. I just filled the gap in with some rope and some hot glue, and that helped glue that entire part together. Now, the fun part, we can decorate the inside. I wanted to kind of go with the theme of lemons, so I did like some fun green leaves and then white flowers, like there would be on a lemon tree. So these are the ones I chose from the Dollar Tree. I don't have a lot of room to work in this. This is definitely a little mini summer lantern, and it's going to be a hanging lantern. So it's something that you can hang in your bushes or your trees, or you can even use it just sitting down because it's got the glass bottom on there. I decided that the white flowers looked a little bit better if I separated them. Again, I don't have a lot of room in there, but I do want it to be full. When the light shines down into the lemon glass, I want the flowers and the greenery to light up. I pretty much sealed the top, so I don't think any water will really get in there using the jar lid and the solar light the way that I did. For the top here, I'm gonna start right here where that mesh and the jar lid comes together, and I'm gonna start gluing hot glue. This is gonna cover up the lid, and it's gonna help attach it to the solar light that we already glued under there, but then I'm also gonna be using this rope to attach it to the glass cup. It's really, the jar lid and the cup are about the same size, so I'm really gonna be stacking that on there. But I went ahead and started the rope all the way around the side of the jar lid, and it kind of adds a decorative touch there too. I'm just using some scrap rope I had, but make sure you have it long enough because you're going to want enough to make a handle as well. Then I laid it onto the glass, and I'm just hot gluing it to the top rim of the glass 2 or 3 times around, just enough to attach it and make it all one piece for this little mini lantern. Once I get enough on there, I'm going to take the extra rope and make a handle. So about halfway, I have the starting rope there be in the back. I'm going to hot glue the same piece straight up the side. Might as well leave it all attached. It's going to make it stronger. And then come down the other side, looping it and making a little hook. For this side, I'm going to hot glue this end down. And I do reinforce this a little bit to make my handle a little bit stronger so it can withstand being hung outside. To do that, I'm going to use just some Dollar Tree twine. It's going to blend in with the rope. You're not even really going to be able to see it. And tie my handle on, going back and forth a couple of times, and then tie that part tight. I thought that would just help reinforce the little hanger on there a little bit. And this was such a fun, easy little solar lantern to do with a fun lemon theme, which I thought was really cute for summer. I know a lot of you guys love decorating with lemons for summer, so I wanted to do one for you. I just burned off any fuzzies from the rope there, and this is how my little lemon solar light lantern turned out. Really fun. This looks so cute, like in my shrubs out in front of my house. I could just hang it in there. Really fun. I like the idea of using the glasses for solar light because you can get so many fun like seasonal finds like this. When you put something inside of it, it's going to light up with the solar light like this. So it's really pretty at night. So it's not quite so plain inside. And flowers, the white flowers were a perfect touch to go with the lemons. And the rope worked really well here for the top of it as well, making my own little DIY hanger. Again, this is what it looks like during the day. And this is what it looks like lit up at night. Has a really fun light pattern with those flowers inside. And outside, this is how it looks. I thought this would look really pretty with that pattern on the side. This is another Dollar Tree jar with like that crisscross pattern. The first thing I'm going to do is fill it in with some Dollar Tree sand, give me a beachy sandy bottom. I just kind of want to do colors on this for the beach scene because you're not going to be able to see the details inside because of that cool pattern on it. But I thought some of these little glass beads or glass gems from the Dollar Tree would be really pretty. These are the ones that are like that blue glass that's like see-through, but also the white ones are more opaque. So I really want you to be able to see like the light through the glass. So I'm actually going to separate mine into like the blue glass marble ones and not use the like opaque white ones. And I kind of want just to kind of fill it up, make it look like ocean water, like sitting on top of the sand to kind of give an ocean feel. And using a little solar light from the Dollar Tree, that's going to fit on there pretty well on top of the jar. I did decide I wanted a little bit more of the gemstones. You could also do that with the sea glass that they have at the Dollar Tree. I'm not a big fan of the colors that comes in though. I think this is prettier, this blue color. Now I want this to be able to hang up. So before I attach the solar light, I'm going to go ahead and take some Dollar Tree twine and hot glue a little rope hanger on this one so that I can make this a hanging light like that. Now, once I have that on there, I can go ahead and hot glue on my solar light top. And I really just like using the tops for these. That just leaves a little exposed light bulb inside that will light up all of your DIYs. Now I want to kind of hide the sides of the solar light. and kind of make the handles go straight up. So I'm going to kind of sandwich those under the Dollar Tree rope. I'm using the brown rope for this one. And I'm going around the glass first. And then I'm also going to do like the sides of the solar light. So this one's probably not as removable, but since it's glass and I'm going to hang it, I want it to be strong and I don't want it to break. So that's why I glued the rope on both parts and not just the top of this one. So just making sure my hanger stays towards the top. I'm just going to keep going around it until all of the sides of the solar light are covered with the rope. This is like the one that has like the prettiest design at night. It's so beautiful. I have this one out in my Florida room right now, and I'm really enjoying this one. So it took quite a bit, but that should be enough to cover the sides of the jar and the sides of the solar light. And we have a little hanging jar. It is a little on the heavy side with all of those little glass gems inside of it. And let me show you how this one looks. So we have our little ocean water on top of our sand. So you're getting that like slight coastal vibe. And I think this turned out so pretty. I love the combination. You've got the brown rope there at the top. You've got the beautiful blue glass gems there. Those combined with the pattern on the outside of the jar gives us a really fun light pattern. And the sand in the bottom is just kind of decorative, but I love it. Look at this light pattern at night. Isn't that gorgeous? Because the stones inside light up, so those are really pretty. But look at that beautiful pattern from using the little cross-hatch jar like that from the glassware section at the Dollar Tree. I really love this one. It would be great for a hanging one, or you could just sit this around. It's nice and heavy with the addition of the sand and the rocks. This is what it looks like out in my Florida room. Really pretty. I really enjoyed this one, and I think it looks great during the day and also lit up at night. What do you guys think about this one? For this one, I'm going to use one of the little star mirror signs from the Dollar Tree, a wood square, and one of their solar table lamps. So these are solar candles. Very cool for a summer DIY. And I'm just using one of those wood squares from the Dollar Tree, giving it a quick sand. It's just rough wood, but I think it's going to be the perfect size to make a little patriotic candle holder for this DIY. I'm going to go in with some of this outdoor paint that I found at the Dollar Tree. I thought it would work for patriotic, but once I got it on there, I decided it was a little bit too royal blue, and most flags are more of a navy, right? So I just mixed some brown paint with it to make a deeper color of blue, and I used that for my second coat. I wanted to use the little white framed star mirror. I thought that would be perfect to make a little candle holder. This would be great for a 4th of July party and to decorate your party and light it up a little bit. The only concern I had with this little plastic framed mirror, it's not the plastic frame or the mirror. The back of it is made out of a cardboard material. And I thought that wouldn't hold up well, especially with a Florida humidity. And if you're going to get yours wet at all, it's definitely not going to hold up. So what I decided to do with mine is just take the back off of it and keep the mirror in the frame. But now it's not attached, so I'm going to have to glue it back in. So I just removed it, cleaned it off a little bit, and I'm going to use hot glue on the rim of the frame to glue it back in. Now, I knew that the hot glue was going to leak on the mirror and probably be visible. And so I do have a plan to kind of fill that in and add a decorative touch to the mirror as well, because as you can see, the hot glue did leak. For the rope, I actually found a Dollar Tree jump rope. I thought this would be really fun because it's blue and white, like a design on the jump rope, and I can just use it for rope to line that frame, and so it'll add a little bit of color to it as well. So I just unwind the jump rope, cut off the handle. Again, you never know where you're going to find crafting materials from Dollar Tree. You got to think outside of the box sometimes, right? And I'm just going to hot glue that all the way around. And I'm glad I did it that way. It did add a fun touch, and it's definitely, I think, going to hold up better than the cardboard. I wish there wasn't cardboard on the back of these mirrors. Now, the 4th of July section at Dollar Tree is very limited. I found this like in the regular like home decor section, the little star-shaped mirror. So that is where I found mine. I thought I could stand this on the back of the wood that we painted blue, and then the little solar candle will light up at night and then reflect off the glass and the star and be really pretty. So for the bottom of the candle holder, I'm actually going to attach stars. And I designed an SVG for my printer of a couple different size stars. These are the larger ones of the two, and I will include a link to the free SVG cutting file if you have a Cricut or a cutting machine and you want to cut out some stars for some of these projects, because we're going to be using them on 3 different projects for Patriotic. I'm just staggering them like you would see on a flag, and I'm going to fill this up 2/3 of the way because we also have the mirror to attach to the back. And this gave me a great flag star pattern there on the front. So I can sit the glass mirror on the back like that. Since this is going outdoors, I was a little worried about my vinyl. It is permanent, but I thought maybe some of the outdoor Mod Podge over it would help seal everything down and make it just a little bit more durable to withstand the 4th of July patriotic season. I guess you could use some of these for Memorial Day for sure as well. So that's what it looks like. I just sealed that and dried it, and now a little hot glue on the bottom corners of my mirror star and attach that to the candle holder. Really cute. And now we just need to attach our little battery operated candle. To turn it on and off, you have to have access to the bottom, so I can't really glue it down. I'm just going to actually sit mine on there just like that. Now, I really made this kind of for a 4th of July party decoration outdoors. The only thing I would do differently if I were to make this one again is not use hot glue to attach the mirror to the wood. I did have to repair it with a stronger glue. Did not hold up outside, holding that together. So that is something you're going to want to use a little bit stronger glue. But as you can see, it's really patriotic and cute during the day. A fun little shelf. I love the idea of the little solar light candles like that. They're so fun. And anytime I can incorporate a mirror into a solar light DIY, I always love that. It reflects the light really nicely, and those little mirror signs from the Dollar Tree like that are perfect for this. I love the blue with the white star pattern. I think that's really fun and really easy to do. Now for the next DIY, I picked up a jar from the Dollar Tree that's got like a swirl pattern on it, and I'm going to try tinting it. This is the dishwasher safe Mod Podge. I chose this one because I want to be able to have it outside, and regular Mod Podge outside is going to be water soluble. So as you can see, it's the first time I've used this. And I've never tried tinting before, and I was blown away by how easy this is. So as you can see, I poured a little bit of that dishwasher safe Mod Podge. I think I picked that up at, maybe I got it on Amazon, but I know that they do have it at Target. And some food coloring from the Dollar Tree. I do 1 drop of blue and 1 drop of green. And as you can see, it really did a good job giving me that like teal color that reminds me of the ocean. Now I'm going to take that and paint the outside of the jar to do the tinted glass look. I've always thought that you had to bake this, so I always thought it would be like a big challenge. But I was learning that you don't really have to bake them, and especially since I'm using the dishwasher proof Mod Podge, it does say that you probably should cure it for 28 days before you get it really wet. So keep that in mind if you're going to put it like out in the weather. But I just went over the whole jar with a thin coat of that dyed Mod Podge. Look how beautiful that looks. I was told that, it looks darker than it is, so I probably could have stopped with 1 coat, but I was worried that after it dried, it was going to get super faint and not be that tinted anymore, but it actually looks pretty at that point. I just dried it with my heat gun, so I didn't know if it would get lighter, but I decided to be safe rather than sorry, and I just went over the whole thing with another coat. A little bit of the Mod Podge seemed to go a long way. As you can see, I didn't mix up very much, and I still had lots left over. But I thought that, I really thought that tinting glass was a lot harder than this. Now that I've actually tried it, I am going to be doing this a lot because look how beautiful that Dollar Tree clear glass looks. It looks like I bought it that way. I had to show it off to my husband. So I have the second coat on there. I'm going to make sure to get it good and dry. I don't want to mess it up. It looks so pretty, and I think it kind of looks like ocean waves, right? And I thought, we might as well put seashells in it, just for a little bit of decoration. You can't see in it too well, but I think you can tell that they're seashells. So I just took all different kinds of those little miniature seashells from the Dollar Tree and scattered them in there. And then we can do just the silver top from one of the solar lights from the Dollar Tree. And it fits on here really well. So all I have to do is do some E6000 right around the top and lay that on there. I love those little tiny bottles of E6000 because mine always clogs. Hate that. And those are just the perfect amount. Now I'm going to use some twine. This is the thicker twine from Walmart. It's a little bit thicker than the twine from Dollar Tree. And I'm actually going to make a handle for this one to show you how you can kind of hang it. If the last one had the hanger already on there. This one is going to be kind of a DIY version. So I just hot glue the twine to the sides of the jar like that. There's a little lip around the top of that jar. And then I can wrap more twine around to fill that area in. It's going to help enclose that too. And again, I'm just using hot glue. Whenever I'm using like rope, I find that the hot glue works really well. So I'm just going to wrap that around until it fills in that area about 3 times and just hot glue the twine down there to the back. And now we have a super easy hanger. And it turned out so cute. So my first attempt at tinting glass was a huge success. It was really easy to do and it really inexpensive. And look at the color on that. It's so pretty during the day. You can see through there, see some seashells and sand inside. The only thing that I had problems with this one is that the twine doesn't hold up forever outdoors. You might want to use rope. It might be a little bit stronger for you for the actual handle instead of just the twine pieces. But as you can see, it's really bright at night and that color is just gorgeous. Again, this is what it looks like at night, all lit up, and it's beautiful. Now, this is a fun summer bottle that I just found at Dollar Tree. I picked that up and just a plain silver topped solar light. I like the fact that they're like plain silver around the edge of them this year and not like that diamond pattern. I also picked up some pink crushed glass since I have a lot of pink and fun going on this summer bottle. And this is such a fun, easy DIY. You can use it for summer decor. You can also use it for a summer party. I'm going to go ahead and put the whole bag of pink crushed glass in there. It's going to weigh it down since it's such a lightweight plastic bottle, make it a better piece for outdoors. But it's not going to take away from the design too much. And I think that crushed glass is going to look cute lit up at night. So then I just need to find a way to attach the solar light to the top. The Dollar Tree solar lights are a little bit bigger than what you're going to find at like Dollar General. They have a smaller one that I really like. If you don't want yours to be quite as big and bulky, but I'm going to show you how I get around that. So first I noticed that the crushed glass was a little dusty, so I'm going to give it a little dusting inside with some dry paintbrushes, try to get some of that dust off the sides, because the plastic really does kind of have like a clinging effect with that. And then I need like a wider base to glue this to properly. So I'm going to start with twine. And I just glue it to like where the bottle lid was screwed on this. And they have all kinds of fun summer patterns on these. I was just at Dollar Tree yesterday when I picked these up. I know they have back to school set at my store. And the only fall things they have so far are fall flowers. So my stores still have a lot of 4th of July. And they have a lot of summer stuff too. So I just glue that all the way to the top. It kind of gave me a wider base to glue the solar light on. I also cleaned it up to burn off any fuzzies just with a lighter. Now that I have like a little bit more room to glue to, I'm going to put glue around the plastic and the twine there all the way around. Just some hot glue and glue the solar light in place. I didn't really like how the top of the bottle was so skinny and my solar light was kind of big. So to kind of fill in that gap and make the transition a little bit more fun, I'm going to use some of the new macrame cord they have from Dollar Tree. And I have some in pink, so I thought that would go with my kind of pink theme on this. Very tropical. And just like the twine, I hot glued it. I'm just going to wrap it around. And I'm going to do that to kind of cover up my twine here. But it's also going to give me more of a transition between the width of the solar light and the bottle. And it just made it look way more balanced. So I was happy with it after that. I just cut and hot glue the end on there. Such an easy solar light DIY. Again, really fun for just summer decor. It's made out of plastic, so it's pretty durable as well. And it would be a great party solar light as well. Really fun little summer themed little solar light. They have so many different kinds of plastic bottles like this from the Dollar Tree that you can really have fun picking your own style. Weighing them down at the bottom with any kind of a stone works great. I really like this crushed glass at the bottom because it lights up at night, as you can see. The pink tint on that one went great with like the pink flamingos and stuff on the side of the jar, and it lights up really bright at night. So you can get creative. Just make sure when you're buying the solar lights, if you buy them from the Dollar Tree, make sure the lids screw off the top of them and you're not stuck with one of the ones that you have to take the screws out to get it apart when you're DIYing one. For the next DIY, I picked up one of the tall vases from Dollar Tree Plus. These are $3, but they're really big. And then one of the little beautiful jars from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to make a lighthouse. I've done another version of the lighthouse. This is how I'm going to make this one. I'm going to have that jar on the top for the light, and I'm going to have the vase upside down for the lighthouse part of it. So this is going to be a way larger version than the one that I made in my last video a couple of weeks ago. So if you want a smaller version, be sure to check out that video. I will have that video linked at the end of today's video. I'm going to frost this one again with the sea glass. I think that turned out really pretty. And so this has like a great like pattern. I think it's going to look really pretty lit up at night and provide a nice light pattern when it's lit up. But I thought it would be more special if I tinted it. So I'm tinting it that sea glass green color. But I just kind of do a light coat all over. Nothing crazy. Again, because my spray paint was taking forever to dry. And then for the vase part, we're going to have it upside down like this. I'm just going to go ahead and remove the adhesive here from the bottom so that will be nice and clean when I go to attach the light part to the top of my lighthouse. And we're going to cover it with some of the faux leather from Dollar Tree. I love working with this stuff. It's so easy. And I am just going to cover it. As you can see, even though it's the extra large vase, the faux leather is plenty big enough. I cut out a piece that's a little bit larger so I can kind of overlap that. And since the vase is straight up and down, it was really easy to attach this. There was no weird angles or anything like that. And I think this is going to be a really cute option for an outdoor solar light lighthouse. I just hot glue kind of my cut in first. That way you won't be able to see that. And my straight edge, I'm going to use that as my outer edge and hot glue that, overlapping that with the leather. I lined it up there with the bottom. I guess it would be the top of the vase. And then it's going to be a little bit long, so we are going to need to trim it down here at the top because I kind of want just glass on the top of it so I can glue glass to glass when I go ahead to put this together. So as you can see, it's really easy to cut the faux leather, and I think that's a great starter piece for it. But of course, I want to have some stripes. Now, you can always do like horizontal stripes. I'm actually going to do diagonal stripes, so I'm going to paint them on. You could also use ribbon if you had like a cool leather ribbon or something like that that would hold up well outdoors. I'm just using painter's tape and I spiral it around. Now the stripe is pretty small, so I want to do another set of spirals. So I just start again, kind of trying to place it about halfway between my first set and just working that all the way around, overlapping the bottom and kind of moving them around until They are centered and I am happy with the stripes. And we're just gonna go in and paint that faux leather. It's super easy to paint. And so we'll have like that ivory stripe. And then I thought like a beachy blue stripe would be fun. The color I'm using is Apple Barrel Cloudless. I thought that would look really pretty in contrast to that sea glass that we frosted the top of the light with. So I'm just putting a thin coat all over the leather of that beachy blue. Now, the faux leather at Dollar Tree comes in all different shades. They have like ivory, they have brown, they have navy, and they have black. So you can kind of do it to whatever colors that you wanted. I wanted to do another Lighthouse DIY video for one of my members on my YouTube channel. Melinda, her mother Gail, loved lighthouses, and it's almost the 1 year anniversary of her passing. She was a viewer here on my channel. They watch my channel together, and so I know she wanted me to do another lighthouse DIY. So this one is for you, Melinda. I really hope you enjoy this. And once I get a nice thin coat on this, I did go over it with the second coat because you kind of have to do with really thin coats of acrylic on the leather to make it not too splotchy. And we can start putting together the top while that dries. So the Dollar Tree solar light, I'm just using one of the silver ones. I'm just going to hot glue it to the top of the jar. If I go around like the inner edge, it's going to be perfect. The jar is slightly larger than the solar light, and I'm going to place that right on side. I usually take the little plastic part off on the inside because I don't really want the light focus there. I want the whole jar to light up. And I think this is going to light up really pretty. So if this should be dry, we can go ahead and remove the painter's tape to reveal those great lighthouse stripes. And I think that looks really pretty. I love that color. It's my favorite. As you guys know, I use it all the time. I get that color on Amazon and also at Walmart. And I always have that linked, I think, in my Amazon shop because it's really inexpensive. You can get it for about the same price as Walmart, but get it shipped for you with Prime if you get it on Amazon. And I'm going to use some E6000 since I'm doing glass to glass to try to make it super strong. So I do the E6000 around the outer edge where it's going to have contact with the bottom of the vase that we're going to glue it to. And then for a little quick hold, I'm going to use some hot glue too, just by doing quite a large splotch of it right there in the middle. That way the E6000 can dry and be a little bit more permanent. Now, I'm also going to add some rope to this for another coastal touch. It's going to kind of fill in the crevice between the light fixture at the top or the jar and the vase itself and kind of top off the top of the leather part. So I just do one piece of that brown thin rope, hot gluing that all the way around. And I liked that so much that I decided to add more rope to the rest of it. So I'm going to go around the bottom. So just where my seam is on my leather is also going to be the seam on my rope. And I'm going to do one row of the brown rope around the bottom, just hot gluing that to the leather all the way around. And it just kind of finish it off, make it look more finished. Anytime I can add rope or twine or of course shells to something, it's definitely going to up the coastal factor. And then I thought that looked really good. And then I thought that I could actually make the top of the solar light wider to kind of make it more fit with the width of the entire lighthouse, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use some more of that brown rope. And what we're going to do is we're just going to wrap that around the silver solar light here at the top, basically covering all of it. So I start on the back where my seam was, and I'm just hot gluing that all the way around. I'm going to hot glue the whole thing down so it stays in place. And I use the Gorilla Glue hot glue. It usually performs pretty well outside, even with the elements here in Florida. I can't really complain. I think it's going to be great for the rope. But I definitely recommend like a super glue or the E6000 for your glass to glass hold to hold the whole thing together. So I just glued that all the way around. It was a little hairy, so I'm going to burn off the fuzzies on this one. And this lighthouse light is complete. Using that jar at the top worked really well. I love the fact that it is tinted in a color, and using some of the faux leather on the outside of the lighthouse worked. Now this one doesn't have like the shape that goes in towards the top like the one that I did earlier. Definitely a larger version of it. I really love the blue color on it. It lights up and the light actually goes down and comes through that faux white leather a little bit too. Now Dollar Tree did discontinue the faux leather. I stocked up on tons of it. It was a quarter there for a long time, and with like the cricket vinyl. So hopefully you stocked up on it too. But otherwise, you can get that other places too. I've gotten it before, like on Amazon and other places like that. For the next Dollar Tree Solar Light DIY, I picked up one of these blue glasses from the Dollar Tree. It's got a great iridescent sheen on it, and it's got a plastic lid and a straw. And I thought we could make a really easy patriotic solar light with this. The color is perfect. I just have to remove that sticky tag there from the bottom and then attach a solar light. The solar light that I'm using is one from Dollar General. I just like them better, but you could use the ones from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to attach that to the bottom of the cup like this. I'm just going to use hot glue. You might want to use a stronger glue. If you let it set, it should set up. Now, I did end up having to change the design on this. My first thought was, this comes with a plastic straw. I'm only going to be using this in a houseplant. Maybe the plastic straw will be strong enough. It felt pretty strong. But spoiler, you're going to have to use the stake. I did have to fix it. I tested it outside in the sun for a day, and the straw is definitely not strong enough. But this was my first attempt. When I was trying to use the plastic straw for the actual stake, I thought that would be a fun idea. I just hot glued mine in place and set that aside to dry. And then once that was dry to the glass, I unscrewed the solar light. In the end, I end up reattaching the solar light. So keep that in mind. For the top of the solar light, which is going to be the bottom of the glass, I want to cover it with flag stripes. So I picked up some flag ribbon from the Dollar Tree. This one has both stars and stripes, but I thought I can just cut it in half and just get the stripes because we already have the blue cup. We're going to add stars to it, and that's going to be the star part of our flag. So I really only need this part. So I just cut that section out. I'm going to go ahead and leave the finished edge on there. I think that's fine. And then it has a wire in there, which I don't really even need. So I just went ahead and pulled that out as well. But this is going to cover up that silver section there at the top where the solar light is to help hide that a little bit. I just use hot glue to attach the ribbon. You could leave this step out, but I think it definitely did add a pop of color with the red and white flag stripes. I use a little hot glue here and overlap it slightly here on the top of my solar light. And I just found these glasses in with like the kitchen glasses and stuff like that in the kitchen aisle at the Dollar Tree, but I love the blue color. Now, these are the little flag stickers that I made with my Cricut. A great way. I tried it on the inside to see if I could get away with that because that would protect it a little bit better. But you know what? It looked so much better on the outside. We're going to do our stars on the outside. And we're just going to stagger them all over. I don't do a super even pattern on this, just whatever works. I want it to be fun and whimsical like flag stars. And so I like alternate 2 or 3 going up and down and staggering them, going all the way around the cup with my little DIY white stickers. I guess if you could find some stickers, you wouldn't even have to make your own. But again, I will include the star SVG file. These are the smaller stars of the 2 that I have on the cup file. And then here is the glass lid. I just popped it on like that. And this was my first attempt at my solar light. I thought it'd be cool for the light to shine up the entire glass like this without using the solar light into it. But this is what it looked like after a day in the Florida sunshine. Didn't work, but it was a fun experiment. So I do want the bottom or the top of the cup still. So I just went ahead and removed the hot glue and removed the straw. We're just going to have to cut that plastic a little bit more to accommodate the rest of the solar light that came with it, like this. So I'm going to have to cut that little circle a little bit larger, but it's made out of plastic, so it's pretty easy to do. Just kind of seeing about how big I need that to be. So I just trimmed out a little circle here. I don't want it to be larger. I don't want any moisture getting inside of it, but I put the little plastic lantern in there to see if that was going to work and then pop it all back together. Now, I don't really like it with the plastic part being on the bottom like that. I might as well just reattach the solar light and just make it into a cover like that. So I just fed it down further, screwed it back onto my solar light, reattached the stake, and now this one I think will be much more durable to withstand being outside. I thought I would use mine just in a houseplant I have next to my door, a little palm tree. I thought that would be really cute just to put that in there, but really you could use this in any landscaping. So patriotic. I love the blue and white star pattern, especially combined with the red and white stripes there at the top. And I'm just using the solar light kind of as intended. It's all together in a stake now. And as you can see, I can use it in my landscaping as well. This is what it looks like there, lit up at night. Really fun, just adding some stars to a blue glass like that from the Dollar Tree. So easy, I didn't have to tint it or anything like that. And just using some stripes there at the very top of it. This is what it looks like during the day, bright and patriotic, and it's a nice light for nighttime as well. With a little butterfly and a little jar, and I thought I could do something cool with that. So I'm going to combine it with one of the Shore Living bottles. This one's like a bluish green color. And I wanted to see if I could make a cute little solar light for like my outdoor table, something that would be kind of a decor piece, but also light up at night. I want to completely get rid of the wire altogether on that with the butterfly, so I just went ahead and pulled it all the way out, and that worked pretty well. Now, you can leave the top of your solar lights like whatever color they are. I'm not a big fan of black with coastal, so I'm going to go ahead and just use some painter's tape, tape off the the little solar panel on the top. And I'm just going to paint mine just to kind of make it blend in, give it more like the coastal color scheme. I have like a khaki spray paint, so I'm going to put some rope around the sides of it, but I think the khaki spray paint will kind of blend in. So I'm just going to prop it up actually on just a little tape dispenser and spray that with some spray paint. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm basically painting it for the top of it because I am going to cover the sides of it when I go to put it all together. I want it to be like just a cool little piece that you could put on a table. So that fits in there with the little stake that's already on there because I pulled off, the stake that goes into the ground. So it leaves like a little plastic piece. And I thought I probably need to weigh it down a little bit since I'm going to have it outside and it can be a little windy here. So I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree pebbles on the bottom to weigh it down. I wasn't concerned with decorating this part too much because with the design on the glass, you can't really see through the bottle very much. So I'm just going to fill it up a little bit with the pebbles, just enough to give it a little bit of weight since it's going to be outside. They have these bottles in all different colors. I like the blue one. I think it looks really beachy. And then I can put the little jar like right in the top of it. Now, since I'm working with glass and since I'm working with something outside, I'm going to try to do E6000 for this part to make it a little bit more permanent. And I just put that around the top of the bottle and put the plastic jar right on top. And now I'm going to fill it up with some Dollar Tree tan sand. I was surprised though, this one has a hole in the bottom and I didn't even realize it. I guess it's the only one that I've seen that was like that. And so I did get a little sand in my bottle, which I didn't mean to, but you can't really tell. I decided just to fill mine up with hot glue. You could always put like, I don't know, like a piece of tape or something over that too. But yeah, there's definitely a hole in the bottom of the butterfly one, so learn from that. So I'm just going to fill it up with a little bit of sand until I think it looks good. And I want to do like a little beach scene on the top of this, so sand and seashells is what I'm thinking. I'm going to use some of these little tiny glass bottle seashells. They come in bottles like this. Haven't been able to find them in a couple months in my Dollar Tree. I hope that they continue carrying these because I love these little tiny seashells. I'm just going to kind of scatter those all around. And then I get these little starfish on Amazon. I just got a new package of them. They're so cute. I do have those linked in my Amazon shop, linked down below. So starfish, some seashells. Now we can work on the light part here. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove my painter's tape on that. And then I also want to kind of decorate the side on that. And I'm going to go ahead and arrange my seashells the way I want them. But the great thing about this is that I'll be able to take the lid off if it kind of gets messed up, gets knocked over or whatever. So I can arrange my seashells, make sure they're all like on top and cute. I thought it needed just one more seashell. And then I just have a scrap piece of Dollar Tree rope that's going to be perfect to go around the edges. It'll probably go around about twice. And so I just hot glue that to the edge. And that's just another little bit of coastal decorating touch. Not completely necessary since I painted it, but I think it still added a little bit more beach decor. And this just turned out so cute. It was really fun to put this one together. And you can use like whatever kind of seashells or beachy items you can think of to put in there. But basically, it's like just a little jar that is attached to a solar light. So it is definitely a fun one to try. Every year, it seems like they get slightly different solar lights. So I always like to try some of the new ones to see if I can come up with some new ideas like this one. So I'm just going to screw that on top of the jar. And then I thought a little bit, the rope looked really good. So let's add some twine to the bottle too. Just add a little texture down there around the neck of the bottle. So I just take some Dollar Tree twine, tie it off right there at the neck, and just wrap that around a few times just to give it a little bit more fun. I'm going to glue that here on the back, the end, and it is complete. It's kind of hard to show you. I have to show you this way. But filling one of those like little jar solar lights like that with some sand and shells is a perfect way to make this coastal. You could really do this with any theme. You definitely don't have to keep the butterfly in there. And it's a great way to use those beautiful glass bottles from the Dollar Tree. These come in lots of different colors as well. And really beautiful, I think. It makes a nice heavy base there too to keep the solar light upright. You could sit these like down a pathway or something like that, or out on a patio, and I think it would be really pretty. A quick, easy way. You don't even need a jar or anything for the top because you have that little container there that had the butterfly in it. Perfect for this. I thought this would be a fun party decoration. This would be great if you were doing a luau party or just for summer. They have these great like Tiki Totem water bottles from the Dollar Tree that are different colors. I think that will light up really well with a solar light. Now, just to add a little fun to mine, and since it's pretty tall, I thought I would add a grass skirt to mine. This is just one of the grass skirts from the summer luau section at the Dollar Tree, which my store has set. And I'm just going to go around there with the grass skirt. It doesn't have to be very long, but I did want to use the belted part here just to make it a little bit easier. And I had a leftover one of these little grass skirts from a luau party. I thought this would be a fun idea. So I just glue it to the bottom like a little grass skirt like that. And then I'm just going to trim it off. I can always save that excess raffia for other DIYs. Now that we have the grass skirt complete, the Tiki Totem part really doesn't need anything. It's just going to need a solar light. I went to take this one apart. This is the first time that I've bought a solar light from Dollar Tree that it didn't just unscrew. For some reason, it was in there with these little plastic tabs. And as you can see, I kind of broke it trying to get it apart. So that was interesting. I've never had that happen. I was like, how strong am I when I pulled that apart like Hercules, right? But I fixed it with a little bit of hot glue. Now, I thought the metal on there was a little boring, so I'm going to add some burlap trim around that. I just take the burlap roll from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to hot glue that around. I think that'll go way better with our little luau theme for this DIY. And this was such an easy DIY to make, and it's so cute. This would be a really cute just party decoration, summer decoration. The fact that it's made out of plastic, you don't have to worry about it breaking if it gets knocked around. So it could be a fun little solar light project to have around kids as well. I just trimmed off my excess burlap material there, and I have the perfect little light to go on the top of this bottle. Now, it is lightweight since it is plastic, and I don't want it falling all over the place, so I'm going to weigh mine down with just some Dollar Tree stones. So I just chose some white stones. You could also use maybe sand as well, whatever you have. I put that down in the bottom before I glued on my solar light, and I just did that with a little bit of hot glue. There it is, our little Tiki Totem light. So pretty. I love that color. And then you can kind of see the screw there for the top underneath where I put the solar light. So what I'm going to do is just make a little rope collar. I take some Dollar Tree rope and I'm just going to go around a couple of times just to fill out that section. It's just going to help seal the light on there as well, but it's also going to fill in that little bit of a gap that I had there at the top. I kind of forgot that I added that piece. I thought I was done. And so I just glue that there on the back and seal my rope down with some hot glue. Now my little tiki light is complete. This was so easy and so fun using one of the summer cups from the Dollar Tree. Color on this one is fantastic. Adding a little burlap and rope to the top is really fun, and I really love the idea of adding a little grass skirt here to the bottom. Add some more character to it. Covers up the bottom too if you want to weigh it down with some pebbles or rocks or something inside of it. But it lights up so pretty at night, so bright. This is what it looks like lit up at night. The great thing is then you can see all of the details in it and like the carving, which makes it really fun. So the Dollar Tree summer glasses, definitely a fun way to make a solar light. And I think this one is perfect for like a little luau, tiki party, something like that. Really fun and nice and bright. I'm going to use 2 of the Shore Living plastic shell dishes. I love these things. I'm hoping maybe you have some left over from last year, or maybe you were able to find them. But this is one of my favorite solar light DIYs, so I absolutely had to include it in today's video. And I want to combine them with one of those little Dollar Tree baseballs and light that up with a solar light. So it kind of looks like, you know, like a pearl inside of an oyster. It's kind of an idea I had, and I thought we could maybe pull it off if I can find a way to light up the ball with it. Now, I don't want this to stand out like too much. This is just the very top of the solar light from the Dollar Tree, and it's silver. They come in like silver and black, I think. I just go over and paint like all the silver parts just white with some white acrylic paint just to kind of make it blend in like a little bit with the ball. It is going to have to stick out from the shape of the pearl. There was really no way around that. But I think if I paint it white a little bit, it will make it blend in a little bit. So I want to go ahead and start constructing this thing. Now, originally I wanted to drill a hole in the middle and try to attach it to the stake. So I just used a screw to drill a hole in the middle. You might want to use a drill bit because the plastic does kind of split on these pretty easily. But I'm also just going to drill some extra holes in the bottom so that it won't hold water just because of the shape of the shell. I think it might hold water if it doesn't have some drainage holes. Now, again, I was going to attach it to the stake, the little, light came on, and I was going to try to do that with like screwing it into clay inside the pole, but I started it, but I just didn't think it was going to work. So I'm just going to weigh it down with just a wood circle from the Dollar Tree, just because it's so lightweight. I don't want it like tipping over, and I want to be able to use this outside. If I find a way to attach it to a stick, I'll have to let you guys know, but I just use a Dollar Tree screw that down into the wood. That way I kind of have just a steady base that I can kind of build it. Then I had to figure out how I'm going to be able to put the 2 shells together to make them look like one and make it look like it's open. So what I decided was I could screw them on. This project took me a while because at first I tried wiring them, and that didn't really work. And so the screwing method worked way better. But what I just do is I go in and drill 3 holes. I thought that would probably make it sturdier. Right here at the back of the base. Like that. And then I'm going to go in the top of the shell and do like the same 3 holes on that. You might want to mark it so you get them all in the right spot. I think I got like 2 in the right spot. So I did have to kind of fix it. But I want to kind of match those holes up together so we can put this together to make a nice strong piece. Now, I didn't really have like any short screws that would be able to work through there. All I had was like the Dollar Tree screws there. Like they were kind of like a medium size. And so that's what we're going to use. They're going to be a little too long, but that's okay. I just go ahead and fix my holes so they line up properly. And then using those screws, I'm going to screw all the way through. Since the holes were already like pre-drilled in the plastic, it's going to be a lot safer. I don't want to break my dishes. So that's another reason I'm going to use just a manual screwdriver instead of my power drill, because I didn't want to split the plastic or anything like that. I mean, it's fairly strong, but you know, working with it like this, maybe not so much. So just a matter of getting your holes to line up for this. And I'm just screwing from the inside of the shell back. And yes, the screws do stick out in the back. I'll show you how I overcame that. But it actually worked pretty well. It seems pretty strong like this. So here is my third and final screw. Just try to make sure you get it all lined up, got those all tight. And these are the screws that are pointing out of the back. So I have that clay that I was going to use to try to make it into a stake. So I thought I would just use that. Just air dry clay from the Dollar Tree. I just put it over my screws. But again, if you had screws that were shorter, it might work better. Or even if you had like a machine screw with like a nut, that would work as well. But we're going to work with what we've got here. And I got to this point, and I love like the iridescence of the shell. I was trying to decide if I wanted to paint it or not. The little plastic ball is white already. It does have the little lines on it, but that's okay. You know, it's not exactly like a pearl, but hey, it came from the Dollar Tree, so we'll make it work. And I just drill a hole right in there with one of my larger drill bits so I can stick the little light bulb down inside to light up our pearl like that. And that way it'll make it really easy. If I need to change out solar lights, I can just pop it off and pop another one on. This is when I realized I probably do want to paint it. So I probably should have done this step before I put it on a base. So I just unscrew it from the base so that we can paint the back of the shells. I kind of wanted it to make it look a little bit more realistic. So I'm just mixing together some ivory acrylic and some antique wax by Waverly and get me a nice like tan color. And I'm just going all over with this with a brush, trying to get in all the places. I'm not using a chalk paint or anything like that, but I actually did get pretty good coverage. And that allowed me to paint over like the, you know, clay part too there, to kind of cover that up where we made the little screw cover. And I do that on the top here as well. But I'm going to leave the inside that beautiful iridescent, like it would look like inside of a shell. That's kind of what I'm going for. And I think that kind of brings it out more when you paint the back of these. So I'm glad that I decided to do that. Once I got that dry with the tan, I just go over it with ivory and a chunky brush. And we're just going to try to bring out all that great detail on the shell by just stressing that on there. Just a pretty simple paint job, but you guys know I love DIYing with these shell plates from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree, and I love making these shells and kind of making them look a little bit more realistic. So this is another DIY with that. Now, I know a lot of you guys are saying that your Shore Living items are gone at your Dollar Tree, but I wanted to remind you to keep checking because like I was just at a Dollar Tree today that didn't put the items out until after Easter, and they just put more stuff out today. So they might still have some. I also went in and just painted the base that same tan color, just to make it blend in. And look how cool it looks now with that like shell background with that beautiful iridescence inside. I think it's so pretty. So I'm just going to use my screw it back onto my base. And you know, you could probably use this down in your landscaping with a base like that instead of a stake. It might tip over if it's windy though. I actually ended up putting mine on a table next to my front door, so it's a little bit protected, and it looks so cute. So here's our little pearl. Now, I wanted something kind of weatherproof, so I picked up some of this super glue epoxy from the Dollar Tree to try to glue down our little pearl inside of our shell. It didn't want to work too good, but I did get a little bit in there, mixed it up. And, you know, it's kind of wet, so it wasn't going to dry like quickly like I needed to. So I did use a little bit of hot glue as well, just trying to make sure they didn't really touch the glues. And then I just positioned my little pearl kind of like with the little solar light leaning over to the side to kind of make it look intentional. And there it is. What do you guys think about this little solar light DIY? I think it is so whimsical and fun. Definitely one of my favorite ones I've ever done. If you're not going to use like Dollar Tree, you could get a smaller solar light panel or something that you could hide somewhere else so you won't be able to see that. But I think that the plastic ball made the perfect pearl. Now they have discontinued the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree, unfortunately. So look out for shell plates. I'm sure you can probably find them somewhere else. They were just like, you know, plastic party plates like for summer. But if you can find some like this, you can paint them or do a fun effect on them like this and make a little fun open shell with a pearl inside. I love that idea for the solar light, and it glows here at night in my garden. I wanted something even easier, so check this one out. I found a hand soap dispenser from the bathroom aisle at the Dollar Tree, and they have them in different colors of plastic. I know they have blue and clear because I picked up both of them. I thought they were cool to craft with. And then this is a solar light that I got at Dollar General. I'm just going to make a little lampshade that I can take on and off of a solar light, so I can leave the solar light out there all the time and just have a lampshade, and a lampshade that's themed for the 4th of July. So again, I'm going to be using the white Cricut cutouts that I've made of stars, and these are the smaller ones as well. And I'm just going to do a couple in each row and just stagger these around. It is like a textured surface to the outside of the little lampshade for our solar light, but the Cricut vinyl is the permanent vinyl, so I think it's going to be fine, and I can just slide it right on and slide it off. So I thought this was such a fun idea. So quick and easy for a patriotic solar light DIY. And again, when 4th of July is over and you want to switch to like a different color scheme or something like that outdoors, you can just pop these off. And if you wanted to continue to use it without the stars, you could always just peel those off as well. But this is what it looks like. I use it just like a traditional solar light here in my landscaping, and it makes a fun little lampshade. Other things I've used to make lampshades are the little plastic storage containers for the bathroom, and they have tinted pencil cups at the Dollar Tree now that are made out of plastic too that you could use for the same thing. The size of this one made it perfect though to fit snugly there on the top of it and stay in place. I'm going to use a Dollar Tree bottle and one of their little plastic party cups. Now, I thought these were Shore Living, but my store just got some in, and they're not doing Shore Living this year, so they must not be. Mine works just with like the regular vases and stuff like that. It's just a clear bottle with a blue tint on the bottom. I want it to look like water. I'm kind of doing an under the sea theme on this one. So I picked up blue marbles from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to fill those up inside the bottle like that. It's already tinted kind of blue down there, so that works well together. These are just the plastic party cups from the party section, but I thought it would make a perfect little lampshade for a solar light. Let me show you how I'm going to decorate this though. I love how all the blue colors go well together. For the little lampshade, I thought it would be fun to do mermaid scales all over. So I'm just using a white paint pen and just doing a little half circle. Then you start about halfway through the circle and connect it halfway to the next circle and keep going around. All of the little mermaid scales, or it could even be fish scales, don't have to be perfect. As you can see, some of mine are big and some of mine are little, but I was trying to keep that same pattern going all the way down the lampshade. And it got a little bit more challenging as I went, but putting it down like that made it a little bit easier, and I just kept with my same pattern. These are the Posca paint pens that are the little finer tip ones. I love Posca paint pens. I always get these on Amazon or Target. I think I have them in my Amazon shop They're my favorite. They work so good. I've had so many bad paint pen experiences, but these things are fantastic. They work on just about any surface. For this solar light, for this one, I'm going to use one of the solar lights from Dollar General, actually. These are a little bit cheaper. You get 6 of them for $5 in the 5-pack, and they're a little bit smaller than the ones from the Dollar Tree, which is going to work well for this DIY because that little lampshade is not quite big enough for one of the larger solar lights. I just use hot glue to sit it down inside. It doesn't go all the way to the top, so I'm also going to go around the sides with some more hot glue, which normally I wouldn't really like you to be able to see the hot glue on the sides of it. But honestly, with this theme, it kind of makes it look just like water. So I went ahead and glued that in well so that should stay in place and light up our fun little mermaid lamp. This is what it looks like so far. I was trying to determine if I needed to add more marbles. I did have an entire package for this project, and the answer was yes, more marbles. I thought the marbles looked like little drops of water and bubbles maybe, so I thought that would be a fun effect for the bottle. And then I'm just going to hot glue on the solar lamp. This is going to glue directly to that solar light that we put inside the cup, and I just put that right on top like that. This was such an easy solar light DIY. I think it turned out really cute with our little blue and white mermaid theme. So this is definitely a coastal solar light, but I love the mermaid touches there. Using the glass marbles inside were really fun too. Those should light up really nicely at night. And it doesn't really matter, what glass bottle you can find at Dollar Tree if you can find one of these. I have found these still occasionally at my Dollar Tree. But it worked really well. A vase would work as well for the lamp base, but basically I was just trying to make like a little lamp using the lampshade there at the top. And as you can see, you get a really fun light pattern with the mermaid tail scales there and all of the blue gems inside. This one is really adorable during the day, our little mermaid lamp. And it's also really bright and fun at night. Isn't that so much fun? Now, this is another one of the summer cups from the Dollar Tree that I thought would be really fun to do. You could do like a little summer beach theme with these, but I think it'd also be really great for a party or a luau. But we've used rope a lot, so I want to try to use some different ways to disguise the sides of the little solar lights. So this is some of that spring ribbon and that bright pink color. I think that's going to coordinate nicely with our little flamingo. And the top of that cup is just about the right size for one of these little solar lights to fit right on top. And you're going to have a little light up flamingo light, which is really fun. I like decorate with flamingos year round. You guys know me. So I also think that if you did a bunch of these and strung them together, like party lights, or if you strung them together like we did the seashells, it'd look really cute. I'm just going to do one to kind of show you how it will look for fun, but that's how it looks at this point. Now, I do want to kind of disguise the little area where I unscrewed the lid. And I wanted to try a different kind of rope. So this is some of that white nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. Kind of the thicker, so it doesn't take much, right? Just to kind of see if you get a different vibe by using a different rope. And I think so. I think that white contrasts nicely with our little pink flamingo too. And now we can just glue on the top, which is the little solar light with the pink ribbon on it. And how easy is that? If you're like preparing for a party, I'm just going to make mine a little table decoration, which would look great on a party table. But if you wanted to make yours hung or strung them all up, I think that would be so cute too. So this is another variety of the pink flamingo solar light. Really cute. I like this one too. The other one that had the larger top was easier to make hanging with the solar light that I found. But this one would be really easy to string up too. I love the pink plastic. It lights up really bright here, as you can see at night, and illuminates our little pink flamingo, which I always love. I always do like a pink flamingo video or two every year on my channel for summer because it's a really fun theme for summer decor. And I like to craft year round, so I never want to skip summer decor, especially outdoors in my landscaping. I think this is a Shore Living candle holder. I found it in the Shore Living section. It's tinted like blue. And then I also found this cool like teal candle holder from the Dollar Tree. So I thought I can combine the two together. They are different colors of blue, but I think they kind of look cool together. The one from the Shore Living line is a very subtle colored glass, and the base is very colored. So nice contrast. The sticker on the bottom of the Shore Living glass thing was a nightmare to get off. I did get some of this adhesive remover at Dollar Tree the other day. It's kind of like a Goo Gone. It seems to work pretty well, but I did have to get the label off kind of first and then get the rest of the residue off. Now for this one, I thought we could use some more of the little fairy garden sea creatures. I found like a clownfish, a seahorse, and we're also going to do a starfish to make it look like the bottom of the ocean since we have a blue tinted jar. I thought that'd be really fun. So we're just going to attach those with hot glue so they don't fall all around. And I want it to look like kind of like the ocean floor in there. So since this one's already blue, I don't really need to tint it, but I guess you could if you had like more of a clear one. But that's what it looks like so far. That fills it up pretty nicely. And I'm going to use white sand for this one. Just because you're not really going to be able to see, I think, the color of the sand through the blue jar anyway, to represent the bottom of the ocean. Now, as you can see, the solar light is too small to fit in there, but I'm going to show you how I fix that. Now, let's start putting it together. This is the candle holder. I found this in blue, this blue color. I also found it in pink, and it's really weighted down. I thought this would be a great base for an outdoor solar light display like this. And I just sit the jar right on top, gluing that in place. Now, since the solar light top was too small, I'm going to make it wider by attaching some of that Walmart twine to the outside of it. It's going to make the perfect thickness to actually fit as a lid on the top of that. So I just start there at the top, hot gluing that in place, and we're just going to wrap that twine all the way around. It's going to add a decorative touch, but it's definitely also going to be functional. So all the way down to the bottom, I hot glue the end and trim off the excess. Sometimes this Walmart twine is awfully hairy too, so I just burned off the fuzzies with my lighter on that to make it look a little bit better. And it sits on there really well like that. And I really like the texture of that twine. It's kind of a cross between Dollar Tree twine and rope, the size of this. So I'm actually going to add some more of it around the base here between the candle holder and the jar to provide a little bit more texture, kind of make it all go together. So I just wrap that around a few times to kind of cover that area of the candle holder. Try not to move it around too much because I want that E6000 to sit up to attach it, but this is how it turned out. Such a fun solar light with the aquarium theme. If you can find any little beachy items to put inside, the fact that I was able to find like a seahorse and a fish, a starfish, is really fun. The glass candle holders like this from Dollar Tree should be something that you could find year round. You don't even have to get it tinted blue to get that aquarium effect. But I love the like quirky little candle holder that I used underneath of it. That blue color on that was really pretty as well. This is what it looks like lit up at night. Really fun, adding some sand in it. I always love a good beach solar light, especially for summer. And this is really whimsical. You could just sit this around just about anywhere. For the next solar light DIY, I'm going to make a palm tree solar light using one of the summer glasses from the Dollar Tree. Now this is a light up glass, but when you push the button, it only lights up for a few seconds. So I wanted to add a solar light to mine to make a fun tropical party decoration or palm tree decoration for my solar light. I have made one of these before with one of the blue ones, and I didn't really like how its durability was out in the Florida sunshine. So I thought I would try again and try a different design here by trying to leave the top of my palm tree more intact and then combining that with a solar light. I'm only going to be using the top of the solar light, and the solar light I got was from the Dollar General for the size comparison. I'm going to use some rope to help attach everything and give a lot of detail to the palm tree so it's not just pink, right? So this was my plan, just to cut a square here with my razor blade through this plastic. It's not very thick, so this was pretty easy to do. And just a square enough that will let my solar light charge during the day. Just like that. I think the last time I made one of these here on my channel, I cut the petals and attached them. I know that they fell off. That part I know. So I wanted to give it a second go to see if I could make a palm tree solar light. So I'm going to glue it here on the underside. It fits in there perfectly. I just hot glue it on, lining up my squares. I still have enough room for the palm tree to go on top there, but it won't click on. So I need something to help with that. I'm going to use Dollar Tree rope. So the first thing I do is just start by gluing the solar light onto the plastic. This again is going to help reinforce it, make everything look really pretty. And then I can actually use that rope to attach it to the top of the palm tree. Now, I went ahead and put mine together, and I kind of skipped a step here in a minute. So what I would have done differently is way down the bottom with some rocks. I meant to put some pebbles down there, and I didn't. So mine's a little tippy right now, and I probably should have put some rocks in it. So learn from me, don't forget to weigh down the bottom of your palm tree. I was so excited to try to put this all together, I forgot. So I put some hot glue there, put my palm tree on there upside down, and then I'm going to continue my rope, gluing that to the sides. That's going to help hold everything together and hopefully make this palm tree design a little bit more sturdy than the last one that I came up with on my channel. It was the same kind of cup, I think, except it was blue. So they do come in different colors for sure. And I like the idea of lighting them up. I guess that's traditionally what it's for, right? With the light up bottom. Now, I thought it would be fun to do some rope rows going down. So it'll make the light be different sections and have bands like a palm tree sometimes has. I thought that would be a fun touch. So I'm going to start here and just cutting that same rope into little circular pieces to go around. I'm just going to hot glue that to my cup. Now I do want my palm tree to still light up though. So I don't want to cover the entire tree with it. So what I ended up doing was skipping every other one for the rope. And I'm glad I added the rope to the outside of my palm tree because, you know, palm trees technically aren't pink. So I thought it kind of made it look a little bit more like a tree in the final project. And I just do that all the way down my solar light tree. Just have to keep in mind that you have to have each piece of rope be separate. You don't want to keep winding it because it's not a spiral fashion. They just go all around. They're like circular like this. And I do that all the way to the bottom of our little palm tree. It added a fun effect and texture to it besides just all of the plastic on the DIY. And it ties it into the rope that we needed to use there on the top. I'm just going to quickly burn off the fuzzies there from our little palm tree solar light. And I love how this turned out. I think this one's going to be more successful. I do wish I've weighted down the bottom. I kind of forgot before I glued it together, but this one definitely stayed together. I had tried this DIY before, and cutting the individual palm fronds on the top did not stay on, but leaving it all connected like that worked. I love the rope for the different sections, kind of breaking up the trunk of this. And I love turning these like large party cups like this from the Dollar Tree into something really fun. I just did this with like a large margarita glass. That was really pretty too. And they come in different colors. This was the pink for the palm tree. Really fun. This is what it looks like lit up at night outdoors. Again, this is what it looks like during the day. A fun palm tree. And this is what it looks lit up at night. It has a fun light pattern. I really hope you enjoyed these 20 solar light Dollar Tree DIYs for summer. Let me know your favorite down in the comments below. This is my QR code if you would like to buy me a coffee. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the final reveal.
Here she comes like the rays of the sun, she shines. A 10 out of 10, Lord, she's no less than a dime. Sets my soul on fire and helps me unwind, yeah. The right kind of woman to help me feel fine. And I've been carry on. And carry on. She got the soul of a warrior, but a tender heart, yeah. Had me hooked on her love right from the start. Pleasure and happiness is never far, no. 'Cause I've been waiting for most of my life to have this love come and bury my strife and carry on. And carry on. Here she comes like the rays of the sun, she shines. 10 out of 10, Lord, she's no less than a dime. Sets my soul on fire and helps me unwind. She's the right kind of woman to help me feel fine. 'Cause I've been waiting for most of my life to have this love come and bury my strife and carry on. And carry on, yeah. Oh,
Let's get some sun, baby, it's time to go. All we need to put on is the radio. I can feel the heat is rising, and that beat is hypnotizing. Oh, no, we run the show. Let's get louder, come on, lose control. Got to live or we get too old. Come on, shine, shine a little tonight. the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine, go ahead and shine.
Thank you so much for joining me today for this Solar Light Dollar Tree DIY marathon. Hopefully you got lots of great ideas. And I want to thank my members for supporting my channel. Thank you so much to Jamie Job, Janae Farrington, Amelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, Maren Christensen, Adrienne Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Red Mama, Pal Puppy Life, Renee Albanese, Jenny, Debbie Austin, Lizette Thomas, and Amy Branham. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you would like early ad-free access to my content here on YouTube, be sure to join the membership. We would love to have you. And if you would like more Solar Light Dollar Tree DIY crafts, be sure to check out one of these DIY videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting.